And now making his way to the cage, Kareem, the Velt Villain Scott.
All right, this is good. This is the grudge match, Eric. A fight I've been looking forward to on this card. McKenzie Headen and Kareem Scott, these two fought last year. The fight that was won by McKenzie Headen with a huge left hand that put Kareem Scott out cold. Both these fighters do not like each other. I talked to McKenzie Headen before the fight, and he said, you know what, Kareem Scott, he isn't doing as much talking before this fight as he did the last one. He's a little more quieter. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that he got flattened out cold.
I don't know. I've heard him talking quite a bit.
Really?
So maybe not a lot for him, but definitely much more than most other people.
Yeah, he's a very outspoken guy. He's very, he's got a lot to say. Kareem Scott, great kid. Never takes it too far. But he's gonna want to avenge that KO loss. How about that post-fight interview, David? Calling out his girl, telling him to Venmo his friend.
You got to public shame people into paying you once in a while.
That was a first, man.
I think I might make a list for the next Triton Fights event and start calling out people that owe me money.
airing of grievances.
Justin is a trendsetter here.
I like that.
We got a good one here. This is the catch weights, 200 pounds. Kareem Scott and McKenzie Headen, these two do not like each other. This is a rematch of their fight that took place last year when McKenzie Headen knocked out Kareem Scott.
Kareem's got a very powerful corner with the likes of Alex Vamos of Vamos BJJ and Rick Schaefer of No Limits Kickboxing.
And his opponent coming to the cage, McKenzie, the Mad King Headen.
Yikes, I'm in my zone, get on my level, I'm walling, I move back. Get off of me, I am the prodigy, I feel like I am a new man. I really don't see any areas in this shit I should improve. So who trying to wake up the blood? You? Nah, I wouldn't do that. Okay, all right.
Making his way to the cage now is McKenzie Headen. 1-1 in his young career. Look at Kareem Scott, look at him dancing over there. He's not worried. But Kareem Scott, accompanied there, you see by John Gotti, former Triton Fights amateur who's moved on to the professional ranks. We saw him here May 5th pick up a win over Eddie Hawes. Very popular fighter in the welterweight division, fights out of CES MMA. He spars with Headen too. I was actually at Panza MMA gym for a TMZ shoot. And I watched Headen and Gotti spar, and these two were going at it. So we'll see if that pays off for Headen.
You know, it's very rare that you have rematches of this caliber in the amateurs.
I know, this is like hyped up too.
Yeah.
You know what, they make it exciting. Both these fighters are from great teams. They have great corners. In Headen's corner, like you said earlier, we have John Gotti. We also have John's striking coach, his brother Frank Gotti, and former professional kickboxer and world champion Derek Panza.
Here's our tail of the tape for this catchweight feature matchup. Kareem Scott, 3 years younger, also has the height advantage. Both fighters weighing under 200 pounds for this agreed upon catchweight feature matchup. These two do not like each other. We'll see what happens.
I wouldn't do that. No. Sorry. Come on, what? Are you serious? This guy, really? Look, buddy, I get it. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, from West Barron, New York, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening. And it's sponsored by Tiger Life Energy, Synergy Pro Wellness, Footlux of Long Island, Combined Insurance, Cannes Sports Bar, and Diamante's Brooklyn Cigar Lounge. Your referee for this Triton fight is Wayne Spinola. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3 rounds scheduled at a catch weight of 200 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this man is a mixed martial artist standing 6 foot 2 inches tall. He weighed in at an even 198 pounds. His record, 1 win against 2 defeats. He represents Sports No Limit Kickboxing, and Vamos BJJ. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, Kareem, the Velt Villain Scott. Scott. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a freestyle fighter, standing 5 foot 11 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 192 pounds. His record, 1 win against 1 defeat. He represents Panza MMA, fighting out of Hempstead, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, McKenzie, the Mad King, Headen. Headen.
Now, if I believe in their first fight, I'm trying to remember, I think Kareem Scott was getting the better of Headen for the majority of the bout up until the knockout.
I believe so.
It's a fight that I had. I actually caught the knockout on my Instagram story, and it was just a devastating shot here. But here we go. We pick up where we left off. McKenzie Headen landed the blows early. Swarming Kareem Scott.
They are fighting like they don't like each other right now, for sure.
If you're Kareem Scott, you got to circle out of that, go for a takedown. McKenzie Headen's a beast right now. Nice jab and a 1-2 there. Flush shots from Headen, landed on the chin. Kareem Scott's in retreat mode.
He's weathering the storm and he's looking to get on that leg.
Whoa.
Nice takedown.
Can this pace be sustained? We're a minute in.
These are big guys.
McKenzie Headen, he does suffer from asthma. I talked to him before the fight. He's worked on different breathing techniques. We'll see if, like the guys just said, the stamina plays a role here. 1 minute in, we're getting a lot of action as we expected.
I have to say I'm impressed with Kareem's ability to weather the storm and fight IQ, trying to take the fight to the ground.
Look at this, a little respite here. A little respite, a little agreed upon break in action. Both fighters are a very far away apart here.
Interesting.
They don't want to get on the ground. McKenzie Headen wants to take this on the stand-up. He wants to go in there and he wants to knock him out.
Almost like he doesn't want to win that way. They want to keep the grudge match going.
Give the fans what they want. Nice duck there from Kareem Scott going for a takedown, but it's stuffed by Headen.
Takedown defense by Headen is very good.
Kareem Scott circling out.
The pace is slowing.
Oh, hands on the waist there. You don't want to see that from a fighter.
We're only about halfway into round 1. It's going to be a long night.
Is this rope-a-dope from Kareem? Is he trying to bait Kenzie into blowing his tank out early?
Well, maybe it's working because
it's an interesting strategy here.
bold move, Cotton. See if it pays off later. Both fighters gassed out. Under a minute remaining here, round number 1. We're scheduled for 3. Are we going to see 3 rounds? Doubtful.
The one thing that's making me nervous here is Kareem has circled himself to the cage each time, and that's where he's taking the bulk of the damage.
He has landed that body kick now. I think that was the 2nd or 3rd time in this round.
It has, and it's been flush.
Super flush.
Oh, nice right from Kareem Scott.
Well, if the strategy was the rope-a-dope, now he's in the center of the cage.
A nice left hand there from Kareem's McKenzie Headen. He follows it up. Are we actually going to see the end of round number 1? I did not think we were going to see that, boys.
I got to say, Kareem is getting his hands up and shelling up. Not all those punches were not getting through.
Round number 1 comes to a close. They take an official break in the corners. They took about 2 or 3 breaks in the middle of the round. So I'm not going to criticize these guys. Like I said, I've never set foot into a cage. You guys have. But you got to figure that you got to show a little more with the gas tank.
You know, I'm thinking here, based on that first round, that Kareem is thinking that if he weathers the storm, he can start to dictate the course of the fight. And we're going to see here in the second round. If Kareem comes out aggressively now,
we'll realize that was all part of the plan.
Right, because I have to say, he was shelling up very well at the end, and not all of McKenzie's punches were getting through. You know, in the first half of that bout, McKenzie was landing.
They're holding McKenzie up in his corner.
Not a good sign. Who has more? Who wants to win this
Now,
fight?
both of these guys came out real strong in their first fight, and they both let the tank empty, and then that's when Headen was able to capitalize and knock Kareem out when he was exhausted and tired.
It looks like Kareem is capitalizing on the emotion here. He's not letting it affect him as much.
I don't like McKenzie with his hands over his head to start the round. Nice
kick.
body kick from
And
Kareem
Kareem's
Scott.
got his hands up.
Yeah, and he's circling now. It looks like he's about to get busy. He's measuring now with that jab. I have to say, Superman punch. Kareem looks like he's fighting not on emotion.
He also is a little too far away.
He's deceptively long. Look how long his arms are.
Yeah, and he's using it right now.
That's smart. You're right. It is smart that he's keeping the distance. He'll eventually find that range, maybe inches in a little more and more.
Well, this is not something we saw in the first round. We did not see Kareem look technical in the first round. Right now, he looks like a fighter with a game plan who's using technique.
Listen, I'll tell you what, this looks a lot like their first fight. A fight where they survived the first round, and out of nowhere, McKenzie Headen landed a huge left hand that put Kareem Scott to sleep.
We might be seeing the exact opposite in this fight.
The reason why I don't think that will happen again is because Kareem now, unlike the first fight, has his hands up high and tight, and you got to wonder how much McKenzie has left in the tank. Can he land a shot that puts Kareem out?
He might have to go for broke.
I mean, he landed some really good shots early on, and if they didn't put Scott out, I don't know that now, especially with Kareem being the fresher fighter, anything's really going to be able to hurt him.
Yeah.
A
Good
minute,
inside leg kick.
a minute and 30 seconds remaining here, round number 2.
The output from McKenzie has dropped significantly.
Yes.
He's still got that power, though.
Big
Wow.
uppercut.
Big uppercuts. A
And
big
nice
flurry.
left, but McKenzie doesn't follow it up. Kareem Scott circles away. Both fighters are a solid distance apart here in the cage.
You can't doubt his power. His power's still there whether he's tied or not. Those two shots look like they had some pop behind them.
And here's Kareem Scott shadow boxing a la Muhammad Ali. Seen a little bit of everything in this fight. Nice body shot. If you're Headen and you want to land that big shot to end the fight, you got to time Scott, I would think.
It looks like he's going to have a significantly harder time. Kareem's defense looks a lot better. His hands are high and tight. He's shelling up well. It looks like he's learned from his past mistakes.
30 seconds remaining in round number 2 in a fight that I definitely did not think was going to go to the third round. A lot of it has to do with the timeouts that they're taking, not official timeouts. Oh!
It's a very interesting fight.
It's not the most technical fight, but I'll tell you what, it's entertaining. The fans here are on their feet. 15 seconds remaining here, round number 2. Will the crowd inspire these two warriors? Letting the blows here, letting them rain.
Kareem Scott with the head fake at the end.
He said, just kidding, I'm going to go back to my corner.
You know, the crowd is involved in this too, man. The crowd is invested. You hear him yelling and screaming.
This is definitely the most entertaining fight of the night.
Listen, not everyone is going to be in there with the best motor or the best technical skill, and sometimes those make for the best fights.
Well, you got to give credit where credit is due. And I have to give credit to Kareem and his team, and more importantly, his head striking coach, Rick Schaefer. They have went back to the drawing board and corrected a lot of mistakes. You could see the difference here.
Rick Schaefer's going 9 minutes.
Rick Schaefer in the corner is telling him, you need to step in with your 2 because he's backing up and you just miss him by a couple of inches each time. You need to move forward when you're throwing that 2.
When your coach is essentially shadow boxing and pantomiming the fight for you, you know he's passionate, you know he cares, you know Kareem's getting good instruction.
Headen looks very tired, both his hands on the fence. He doesn't look like he's excited to get back in here, even though, I mean, he may have won both rounds so far.
I think he lost the second round.
Lost the second round?
I think he won the first round decisively.
So this is essentially a tied fight. It's 0-0 going into this. Now, whoever wins this last 3 minutes is going to become the victor.
I would agree.
It is the third and final round, boys.
You have to acknowledge something too, Dan, that you said McKenzie suffers from asthma.
Yes.
So he could have very well been playing the same game Kareem was in that second round, managing his breath to get to this third round and come out strong. And whatever the case, you have to admire the guy for fighting through a condition like that and fighting the way he's been fighting.
He told me that he spent a lot of camp working on those breathing skills and all that stuff. And here he is in the final 3 minutes of a 3-round fight, a very emotional fight, going back to their last one. So that takes a toll on you as well.
Also, the pressure. It's a rematch, and it's a match that you won by decisive knockout last time. Most people are probably expecting you to repeat that performance. There's a lot of pressure in that.
Yeah, and we've got to give credit to Kareem Scott. The first 30 seconds of this fight, it looked like we were going to see a quick stoppage from Headen once again. He weathered the storm. He went for some takedowns, and now you can arguably say that he's winning this fight right now.
Yeah.
Both guys are in much better shape than they were, and their skill set has improved dramatically since their first fight.
Both fighters a country mile away.
If I'm Kareem here, when I see McKenzie taking those pauses, I would be trying to get busy.
Yeah, you just want to move forward, keep moving forward, and just the pressure alone will tire them out and exhaust them.
Right. But then again, I'm not the one walking into McKenzie's heavy punches, so it's easier said than done. I don't know that I'd want to get hit by him.
McKenzie Headen spent his training camp at Panza MMA, sparring every day with John Gotti III.
Sparring with animals every day.
Yeah, I was there for one of their sessions. It was intense.
We got a mouthpiece out here.
You mean you can stop it now? They're up against the cage. Nothing's happening.
No break.
I mean, they're going to have to get that mouthpiece, and these guys throw bombs.
McKenzie's got to work and pummel. You'd like to see him pummel his right hand underneath Kareem and look to reverse his position here on the cage.
The final minute remaining here in round number 3, a fight that I did not think was going to go the distance, but here we are. Both fighters weathering the storm, so to say. Both fighters taking each other's best punch. Kareem Scott looking to avenge that loss to McKenzie Headen. McKenzie Headen looking to find that final, flurry. Let those hands rain, but he is gassed. He looks really tired.
He's going to have to work real hard to create space and get those flurries off.
30 seconds.
Kareem busy with those knees. Got to be careful not to go low with those knees.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a point taken away if you're Kareem at this point, because it looks like by your scorecard, possibly mine, he won the second round. And now
Here
this
we
will
go.
be
Final 10 seconds. They're going to let those hands go. Smart move by Kareem Scott going for the takedown. Very smart. Fight comes to an end.
And a show of respect at the end.
They hung it out. Both fighters extremely exhausted. Look at that. That's the shot of the night right there. Shot of the night. Both guys laying on their backs.
the crowd's giving them a standing ovation.
Wow. What an entertaining fight. Take a look at some of the replays here from the action, Eric. This fight had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Kareem definitely controlled the action in the third round. And I would agree with Dave, and he could probably won the second round as well. So I would score this fight probably 29-28 for Kareem Scott.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And you got to give Kareem Scott all the credit for weathering the storm early on, sticking to his game plan, scoring him some big takedowns. And you know what? David Diamante, he's got the official result in his hand. Let's throw it up to him. I want to find out who won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action here at Westbury, we go to the judges' score totals. All 3 judges scored this bout the same, 29-28. But your winner by unanimous decision, Kareem the Belt Villain Scott.
This should be a fun post-fight interview.
You know what that means, Dan. There's going to have to be the trilogy, grudge match to solve this thing.
Gotti Ward, the third, the rubber match.
Kareem, I'm here with the winner. The grudge match is over. It looked like you guys hugged it out at the end there. You know, a big emotional rematch. How's it feel?
It feels amazing just to get the W. You know what I mean? but I haven't fought since September. I haven't fought, in 9 months, and it's a different type of cardio. I put on weight, and I had to drop it, so it was tough. And it feels amazing to get the W because, I'm a competitor. And losing 2 fights in a row, that shit hit me deep. You know what I mean? I feel like I let down my schools, Team Vamos MMA, and Team No Limits. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna come out, even today, I'm not happy because I feel like I didn't completely let my hands fly, D-Rock.
Well, you came in here regardless, you got the job done, and noticeable improvement. So, move on with your head high, and what's next?
Next, my mom and my sister said that I have titties, so I'm moving down to 185. And you best to believe when I move down to 185, my cardio is gonna be a hell of a lot better.
Kareem Scott, everybody!
Wow. The fight didn't disappoint. The post-fight interview didn't disappoint. Kareem Scott avenges his loss to McKenzie Headen.